Okay, so hey, I think I just solved sin. I think I just solved sin. And maybe I'm loony, so maybe this is not just for aesthetics, but I don't know, so you'd have to let me know. I think I just solved sin. So Christianity says there are seven, moment for the nails, seven demons, seven devils. They are by name Lucifer, who's pride, Mammon, translated to greed, Belphegor, translated to sloth, Asmodeus, translated to lust, Beelzebub, gluttony, Satan is wrath, and Leviathan is envy. So I think these are wrong. Like, they were trying, but they were a little bit wrong. I think there's five, because I think lust, greed, and gluttony are all the same thing. Why did they have to make them different things, you might ask? Because monks in these times were misogynistic, meaning they had to make a separate sexual category for lust just so they can point at women and say, this is your specific demon. It's not even just greed, it's lust, because you whore, literally why else? And then they were fat phobic, additionally, which is why you had gluttony. Even though, isn't it intuitive? Is it not intuitive to y'all that gluttony, greed, lust, it's all the same thing? It's just like needing too much of something. It's literally the same thing, needing too much. So anyway, I just Asmodeus, Belphegor, and Beelzebub, one demon, and I'm a caller needing too much. And then additionally, wrath, Satan, and sloth, Belphegor, are one thing. You might be wondering about this. Let me know, first of all, before I reveal all of the truths. Let me know if anyone else has had this intuition that Satan, wrath, sometimes called vengeance, violence, hating the world, and sloth, also called laziness, did I almost give it away? Sloth and wrath are the same thing. So anyways, to Belphegor and Satan, and I will name these depression. All right, so I said needing too much is Asmodeus. Where are the other ones? Beelzebub and Mammon. Mammon, Beelzebub, Asmodeus. Needing too much is a title. The name is mania. Mania. When people are manic, lust, greed, gluttony. I ate so much the other day, y'all. Bipolar 1, I ate so much. I did not eat anything previously. Spent 2 weeks, hating the world and living in it and being lazy, not doing my courseworks because I was depressed. Thank you, Satan and Belphegor. And then I ate so much food, and I have not gone not one single manic episode without spending too much money on my mom's credit card. So, not my fault. It's Asmodeus, Mammon, and Beelzebub all working together, because they are in fact one thing. Minus the fat phobia and misogyny, they're one thing. So I just knocked out 5 demons for y'all. And then here's my explanation of the other 2. Leviathan envy is ugly. Why would you be envious unless you are ugly? Your heart is ugly. You are envious of people who have joy and good connections with their people. Your face is ugly. You are envious of pretty people. Your work-life balance is ugly. You are envious of people who are on vacations. So Leviathan envy, her name is ugly. Leviathan, ugh. Like the big snake, the Loch Ness Monster, it just kind of makes you ugh. Like, people don't really like snakes. Giant, massive hunk of black water snake is even ugh. Like, literally her name is ugly. Anyways, so I just knocked out 6 demons for you. Where's the 7th one? The 7th one is named Lucifer. Okay, pride, Lucifer, schizoaffective. Schizoaffective disorder. That's her name, schizoaffective. And I don't say schizophrenia because I had pride. I have delusions of grandeur, maybe a little, and I was not diagnosed with schizophrenia, but I am schizoaffective. So that's why I say, like, you might as well make it the umbrella term. Like, I also want to say none of these things apply, like, very, very specifically. I think people can experience mania without being, like, diagnosed bipolar. Me personally, schizoaffective bipolar 1 is, like, my leaning. Not even my diagnosis, just my leaning. But, I lean heavily enough to get medicated. I'm starting tomorrow. I'm so excited for Abilify. It's an antipsychotic. So excited. But anyways. Yeah, I don't know. I saw this, like, Instagram post that got thousands of likes. So I'm hoping that, like, the thousands of people who liked that will see this. And it said, the weird esoteric knowledge that you only get from suffering. And thousands of people like that. And I'm like, facts. That is me every single time I'm, like, on an upswing after being possessed by Satan and Belphegor for two weeks. So 2 weeks of Satan and Belphegor, 1 week of Asimodeus, Mammon, and Beelzebub. That's been my trend for the last year. Literally being possessed, not my fault. But here's like the part where I actually explain why this isn't just a fun theory. This is, like, in my belief, truth. And, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, please. But there were no names other than these names for these things at this time. Mental illness is hard to conceive of. Like, we are actually lucky to have Freud and Jung and whatever other, like, you know, psycho doctor people we had. The psychos. Freud was a psycho, but thank you, Freud, because these things were, like, actually difficult to diagnose, and it took years of intellectual history to diagnose them. Like, what was Freud raised on? I stole this book in a manic episode. Wait, who at that moment was possessing me? I could put this in. It wasn't lust. It wasn't gluttony, even though they're all the same thing. Technically, the Bible would say it was Mammon who possessed me when I stole Freud as artist. And I read it. Like, he was raised on philosophy. That was his shit, you know? So we had all of these years of university intellectual tradition to create the psychologists, psychiatrists, psychoanalysts who actually put the real names of these demons down on prescription papers. And then people additionally who study science at the universities and do all their biochemistry. It's not bullshit. It's real magic. It's real magic, not fake magic. Abilify, this is gonna really help me. I'm really excited. Like, cured those demons. And they're not obviously all cured because I think every single person has, like, some degree of this. So that's the other thing with, like, I don't want to apply names too specifically. This means that there's... Well, it's okay. We're just gonna be glowy. Unclean and glowy. But not ugly, because I defeated Leviathan, because I'm hot as fuck. I don't need no Leviathan. Thomas Hobbes, you ugly bitch. Get away from me. But anyways. So, we actually have cures for demons now. And it's more like treatments and not cures right now, because people we've not achieved that level of, but it's close. Like, y'all, I know cognitive scientists, I know what are they called? Neurologists who are working on it. They're trying to get to whatever is going on. It's complicated, but they're trying to, demons are hard to fight. They're trying to fight the demons. They will soon, within our lifetimes, Gen Z, within our lifetimes, they will be cured. We will have cured the demons. Wow. So my favorite one is Leviathan Envy was cured, and we didn't even realize it. The cure is already there in the world. And the biggest part of this was in the last century. Sunscreen was invented. Guys, 80% 80% of skin aging is from the sun. 80% of skin aging is from the sun. We have sunscreen. I'm currently wearing, not going to give the exact product because get the one that you want, not the one I recommend. But I'm wearing a nice full coverage foundation that is SPF 30, meaning I'm going to prevent 80% of aging by wearing my makeup. That's the fountain of youth. That is the fountain of youth. And then it is my belief that 80% or a similar metric, I want things to be aligned, so I choose that they are. I could be wrong about this. Science could prove me wrong. That's fine. But I think 80% of body aging is diet and exercise, and we had so little knowledge of the, necessary normal diet and exercise until very recently. So I really think that everybody now in Gen Z and beyond has the ability to not be ugly physically, because 20% of aging is good. Like, some 40-year-olds are hot as fuck. Like, we know this. Some 60-year-olds are like, okay, she doesn't look that bad. She looks 40. But like at our 60, we could look 30, if 80% of aging is from the sun and we wear sunscreen from childhood onward. Yo, is this computing? And then, there's the heart ugly, the soul ugly. What is that? That's craving celebrity. And I really think that craving celebrity and like wanting to be like other people, it's not mammon, it's not greed. It's Leviathan, it's envy. I could get into that distinction if someone wants me to. I'm not super interested in it because it's very intuitive to me. But that is fixed by, here is revealing the savior, the Jesus that came and no one noticed. Wish.com! And now Temu, Shein. So yes, these are our saviors against the demons. Not a single demon in any of those. I'm sure they're so nice to their child factory laborers. But anyways, so like, we're still working it out. The saviors are still in their not perfect phase. Kind of Temu is Jesus as a 14-year-old. Like when his mom went, "Hey Jesus, can you turn this water into wine for me?" And he's like, "Girl, I'm not ready yet. Girl, I'm not ready yet." Like, that's Temu. It's like, I don't really have miraculous abilities right now because I'm not employing people making fair wages, but I am great. I am a savior. And this is why you have no need to be envious of, gosh, the sweat stains. Anyways, you have no need to be envious of people who have lots of stuff if you can get lots of stuff for very little money. You don't even have to buy the stuff. It would be potentially a manic deal going on if you were buying every single thing that you saw on Temu. But it's the potential that matters. Like, we are envious of people's potential more than we are envious of their actualities, and we just get confused about that. And it's like, oh, someone has this great vacation and this great beach house and this like hot wife, and my wife doesn't have boobs as big as theirs. And it's like, I don't even think that you necessarily want the wife with bigger boobs. You just wish that like potential was there. Like, I wish, probably people, if they really like translated their thoughts correctly, would just be like, I wish my wife could have big boobs if she wanted them. Like, I wish that tomorrow, if tomorrow was a big boob day, that she would just like have big boobs on that day. And we have fillers. Like, I really think that like breast implants, like what I'm excited for in the future is facial surgeries and body surgeries that are temporary, like inkbox tattoos. Like, how cool are inkbox tattoos, first of all? That you can have like a couple months of a tattoo without having it for the rest of your life. Like, so cool. But like that with lip fillers in the boobs, so that if it's a big boob day, if it's a big boob month, it could be kind of like hair color, where there's like semi-permanent, there's permanent, but like, who even dyes their hair permanent colors? Like, I don't know anyone who. goes colors, multiple colors, and uses permanent dye. Except for me. My hair is currently Rich Caviar. It's a purple, but it's fading, but it's permanent. It's permanent, but it's fading. But anyways, and I'm going to go blonde soon, but besides the point. You have the potential to make all of your material desires come true, so they don't matter anymore. You have the freedom now to desire just what it is that you actually truly desire, now that you have the potential to have everything, like almost. You know, we're close to a point where like a temporary boob job is not expensive. You can like modify your body radically whenever you feel like it. Oh, on this note, I'm gonna get my hair waxed because this exemplifies my point really well. And also a sugar-free grape soda, because this also exemplifies my point really well. Actually, I have gold hair wax that's like temporary color, but I don't feel like being gold right now. I'm going to use instead this other colorful hair wax. So it's like there are things that you can do that if I'm just like, I want to have pink hair today. Like I remember being really annoyed about that as a kid, of like, I wish I could just like have pink hair for a day and then not have pink hair. And I got these like really shitty hair sticks as a kid. It was like chalk wax, and you'd rub it on, and I did blue. And then my hair was green for like literally 2 months. So not, you know, it was, the savior was there, but not fully formed yet. I'm gonna sit on this pillow. I'm on the ground because I feel like it. Because I feel like being on the ground. But anyways, like there are so many salvations already that we are so nearly at a point where you literally can just like get whatever you will. Because I bought these on Amazon and they were not expensive. They were $12 maybe for the 4 of them. Very cute. Very cute little tubes. Like, the fuck? That's so cute. And then, like, you could literally just have a different hair color as you damn please. So, Wish.com, Temu. Like, I mentioned Wish.com because it's really important, because I think it was, like, the first of its kind that really, like, took off. And people who find Temu to be a miracle, which, you know, it is, I think they don't have proper reverence for its predecessor. You know, if you're a Christian, you ought to at least respect the Jews, and if you're a Temu addict, you ought to, you know, pay your dues to Wish.com. So, basically, no need for any more snakes in our lives. No need for Leviathan. You don't have to be envious, because you don't have to be ugly. If you wear sunscreen, have a good diet and exercise, which this is available, like, again, I'm kind of saying like, oh, things are available now. Things are available now if you have money. Not everyone can afford a boob job right now. Not everyone lives in a non-food desert. Sometimes I go to the dining hall because, like, that's my ability to survive. I don't have money in my bank account to get food. I tried to buy almonds one time at CVS and my card got declined. And I tried to buy almonds another time at CVS and my card got declined, and they, like, know me now. Anyways, sometimes I go to the dining hall and it's literally just, like, pasta and corn muffins, and I'm like, this would be great if I was in the mood for pasta and corn muffins, but, like, please, I need nutrients, and they're not here. But anyways, so sometimes, and that's me complaining about my, like, Columbia education. There are literally, like, 10 dining halls I could go to. I just didn't check ahead of time. Like, some people live in legitimate food deserts where they have a convenience store that has Lay's potato chips and they don't have Whole Foods. And you don't need a Whole Foods, but they don't have Whole Foods. Like, they don't have Whole Foods. That's the thing. We don't have Whole Foods at a lot of grocery stores in the United States of America and around the world. And most poignantly, in the, I can't remember the class of islands. They might be the Virgin Islands. I think, like, Nassau, where there was an volcano a few years ago, 4 years ago. Damn, time. Whoa. Time. Anyways, highest obesity rate in the world. Because, like, if I watched a documentary, it was amazing. They're eating sheep mutton, which is like the fatty, not nutrient dense parts of the sheep, because Australia eats a lot of sheep, or like exports a lot of sheep. And they sell the like remnants essentially to poorer areas. And then they additionally have like sodas and chips, and they had American 90s television where a bunch of people were eating chips and drinking soda, and it was like, oh, so this is the cool thing, like this is what's going on in the global world, like we want to be global citizens, we want to be like the cool Americans. And then it's like, oh, obesity, because in America we had the shame standard, we had gluttony. If you have American diet without American morals, and by that I mean American shame, then you get obesity. But even with American shame, you get obesity. And that's the thing, is like gluttony is not a separate thing. It's just fat phobia that made it a separate thing. Some people actually just like eat more food. And there also are many body types. So like the demons being fully excavated from the world does not look like everybody having a model bod. It does look like everybody having a healthy bod, which can take many different forms. And like I'm about to go on Abilify, and one of the like major symptoms of that is weight gain. Like most people gain 9 pounds in the first year. And I'm like, you know what? If I'm taking a medication that like stabilizes my brain, that like is necessary to stabilize my brain, I don't even know if it's like, you know, a side effect, like something that went wrong that's causing that weight gain. It's probably just that like my unstable brain is in part caused by out of whack metabolism, which is keeping me skinnier than I should be. Like maybe my ideal bod literally just is 9 pounds heavier. As if. But anyways. Because I've always felt like I'm kind of too thin. Not always, like in the last year I've gained some weight and I've been like, okay, I feel like I'm like at a healthy weight. Stats are like 33-inch bust, 26.5-inch waist currently. And I'm like, okay, I'm a size small, medium, modern small, I think. But I'm like, something feels wrong about this. Like, I don't know if this is my bod. And I think, in fact, like, it's not going to be my bod when I have the demon out of me, because the meds compensate. Yeah. And then, yeah, you know, ideal world is you don't have to take a pill every day. It's just like a one-time thing. But we're not there quite yet. But I think the one-time thing maybe would, again, create metabolic changes that make people gain weight. So, yeah. Basically, yeah. The demons are defeated. There was 5. Quick little rant about, I really, like, was always annoyed that there were 7 demons, because I'm like, I thought 7 was a holy number. It is a holy number. But there's 7 good things. Jesus loved 7. So why should there be 7 bad things if the good outweighs the evil in the world? If the good guy wins, there's not an equal amount of good guys and bad guys, you know? And in fact, no, it's 5. So, just to recap, gluttony, lust, and greed are mania. Sloth and wrath are depression. Ugly is Leviathan. Alright, here's where it gets interesting. We've got 1 biblical demon left, but 2 actual demons left. The 1 biblical demon is pride. And I can't remember his name. Yes, I can, right? It's Lucifer. Yeah, Lucifer, schizoaffective. I explained that already. So Lucifer, schizoaffective. We've got 1 left, but there's no biblical demon left. So what is the 1 thing? It is just whatever thing kills people indiscriminately and has no cause. Because again, I'm thinking in, you know, I'm trying to be biblically accurate. Like, what was known at the time as a demon in society? And it would have been these mental illnesses that had no name yet, no true name. They just had demon names that are unhelpful. A true name is a diagnostic name. It tells you what the thing is and how to fix it. I mean, how to fix it is implied if it needs fixing. But yeah, whatever it is, it kills kids indiscriminately. So I think that demon has many names in the modern world, like leukemia, like type 1 diabetes. Oh, I hate that my freaking goddamn computer keeps turning off because I set it to do that. See, I'm not mentally ill, so I do not have any resentment, and it's funny. Anyways. I mean, I am mentally ill, but I'm not currently depressed. If I was depressed, that might have been like a moment, but no. Because that's just the way that it is. Like, you don't mourn things when you're not sad. When you're not sad at heart. When you have a happy heart, it's just easy. It should not be hard. Should not be hard to not be possessed by demons. Anyways, type 1 diabetes. If I had been born in the time of Jesus, I would have died when I was 9. Because no one lived longer than a year. When you get type 1 diabetes, it's a death, I would say a death diagnosis, but they didn't even have a diagnosis. I literally, I was curious about this one night, when I was up, when I couldn't sleep. Anyways, and I just looked up, type 1 diabetes in the ancient world, because I'm like, how would they have even conceived of that? What I found is that in ancient Egypt, they literally just were they called it a demon. They were like, some children just get possessed by demons and then have seizures and die and starve to death. It's so weird. And that is what type 1 diabetes was. It was called a demon. So I was not able to find any specific evidence of what type of demon they called it in Jesus's time. Because I don't know, I guess they just didn't have a record of that. Probably because they had all these named demons, and then they didn't want to name more because they wanted the number 7, which doesn't make any sense. But I think monks made some mistakes, guys. I think Jesus probably said something about the 7 demons. He did not probably, first of all, English. He didn't have English. He didn't call them pride and lust and whatever, because those are English words. They mean different things. He gave them actual names, And those names meant something that is a little bit different than, and again, it's mostly correct, because right? The pride, greed, gluttony, lust, whatever, these are the principal symptoms of what has become known as schizoaffective bipolar and depression. So mostly correct definitions, but we just kind of attribute to them moral bases. Some people are just bad people and therefore they're gluttonous. But we don't have to do that anymore, because we literally have mental health diagnoses where it's oh no, this is a demon. This is in fact a demon. Humans are made good and are possessed by demons very frequently. So yeah, I think that the demon that is most in us is depression, which is Satan. People are always saying people are satanic. Yeah, people are satanic because they're not enjoying their life. People are satanic because they're not enjoying their lives. Because they're depressed. Maybe they won't get diagnosed with depression. I wasn't diagnosed with depression, but I totally had Satan in me, which is depression. I just wasn't, there can be different levels of it. If you're a true sinner, then you get diagnosed with depression. It's pretty much how it goes. Yeah. So I don't know. I get really sick of people thinking that people are bad, because I've never thought that people were bad. Even I don't know. I was always a person when I was learning to drive when I was a teenager, someone cuts me off, I'm they probably just spilled a cup of hot coffee on their lap when that happened. That sucks. Or their cat died this morning and so they weren't paying attention because they're grieving. Bless, have a good day. I'm so sorry your cat died. That's just my automatic assumption. Because then even when you're in the car with people who are demonic and who just aren't paying attention and are talking, and then they'll have road rage and be why the fuck did this driver do this? But then they're doing the same thing. Are they really evil, or are they just trying to have a conversation and not really paying attention? Because if they had a little bit more intellect, a little bit more awareness is what I mean, same thing, then they would be able to have the conversation and also not cut people off. But who has that level of intellect? None of us, because we've all got demons a little bit. So I think the ugly is also the dumb. And, like, me personally, yeah, I'm definitely not smart enough. I go to Columbia and I just solve the sins, but I'm not smart enough to, like, drive well and also hold a conversation, which means I just, like, shut people up when I'm driving. Or most of the time I don't do that. Most of the time I miss the exit. I, like, very frequently miss the exit. But, like, both cases are bad. Like, if you're silencing the people in your car, like, that's kind of an evil thing to do, you know? So you cut people off, you silence people in your car, like, you're forced into evil. You are sometimes just forced into evil. But you really wouldn't be if you had non-ugly. If you didn't have Leviathan around your neck, around the wheel. Leviathan chains our hands to the wheel. The ugliness of our simple minds. Not simple. Simple minds, good. Minds that don't have adequate awareness, not as good. But yeah, I'm drinking my magic potion right now. This is Zevia Zero Sugar Soda Grape Naturally Flavored. I don't think I will ever buy this again. It was kind of mid, and I drank an entire carton of it in one day. I bought this like 28 hours ago, approximately. No, wait, it's probably late right now. What time is it right now? It's 1:05 a.m., so I bought this like 32 hours ago. And I think it's probably a little bit addictive because I drank like 5 of them in succession. So I'm like, I don't really fuck with that. I'm like looking at 2 of them right now. This is funny. This is my view right now. Yeah, so I think we're done with the Zevia. Do you see like the flattened curtain behind me? Because they're all gone. Wait for it. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, so. But that's the thing is like, it's so easy to not get addicted to things when you're not possessed by. Hey, mofos. Congrats! You made it halfway! It's not easy to listen to me. It really isn't. I know this from personal experience of having friends. They struggle. So, congratulations, friend. You made it halfway through this video. And I'm about to insert the thumbnail intro because I thought it'd be inappropriate to put it at the beginning because I thought you maybe would stop listening to me if there was an intro because it's too personal. It has come to my attention that some people have YouTube intros and I do not yet have one. Yet. So wake up the members of my nation. It's your time to weep. There's no chance unless you take one. Every time just see the brighter side of every situation. Some things are meant to be, so give it your worst and leave the rest to we. Leave it all to we. Just leave it all to us. Leave it all to we. Pee. Rasputin is a girl. I'm a mystic with a big dick. Demons, because like addiction is also, I think addiction is a secondary demon. I don't think addiction is really like a demon in itself. I think it's, you have the other ones like depression and mania, and then you end up getting addicted to things. But like these are also all secondary. Like all the biblical names are like the symptoms, you know, diagnosing things by the symptoms. Like we used to do that for a long time. Instead of having the names, you just have the symptoms. What are you suffering from? Instead of, I'm suffering from cancer. I'm suffering from dying. What do you have, diabetes? I'm suffering from starving to death randomly. If you're confused, you should really look up type 1 diabetes. It'd be very helpful to people in the world if more people knew what type 1 diabetes was, so that if my blood sugar alarms went off and people are like looking at me like, you freak, why do you have an alarm set? You menace to society. And I'm like, I literally can't turn it off. But, you know, ignorance, whatever. Ignorance is not a demon. It's really not a big deal. I can look at people with their looks and I could be like, okay, I get where you're coming from. In most cases, this would be a weird thing if someone had an alarm set in the middle of class. But it's not an alarm. just educate yourselves, y'all. But like they wouldn't even know where to, like if no one told you about type 1 diabetes, then you wouldn't have looked it up and you wouldn't have educated. But also probably a lot of people were told that type 1 diabetes exists and they were like, oh, okay, that's something I don't need to understand. They never looked it up. And if they had looked it up, then they would, and they had done some research, they would have known about Dexcom, they would have known about alarms, and they wouldn't have had to suffer through that horrible experience of not understanding why someone else would have an alarm go off. So just educate yourselves. Like I think the internet is the cure to ignorance. Maybe. That's like part of the ugly that has been cured. I'm wondering if that applies to the car scenario. Like maybe if you just said to your friend, like, hey, whisper what you're saying to me into an audio message and send it to me and I will read it when I'm done, then that would be the cure. And like we have the ability to do that now because we have phones. But also we've had the ability to do something similar to that for a long time because we have writing. And if everything had been transmitted by writing, then we would have been not ignorant. But the Library of Alexandria, y'all, unfortunately, she was out, like just wars, destroying historical knowledge, unfortunately. So yeah, the demons are not done in the world. I did, in my religious theory class today, interact with ISIS bombing this like ancient Mesopotamian religious site because they're like carved images, false idols, and it's like no one fucking worships this religion. Like the only people who are here are snotty-nosed, duct tape glasses researchers who are trying to gain historical knowledge so that they could pass it down and cure people's demons, and then you fucking blow it up. Like that's super unchill. But I don't know, it's not hard to interpret things. It really is not. Carved image. Do not construct carved images that will stand in place of God. That is good. And like Islam really makes it very, very clear what that means. Like it is unclear in the Bible, so I could maybe understand that bombing from a Christian perspective of okay, you just don't get it. But if you're reading the Quran or reciting the Quran as you should, then you should have known better. It makes it very, very explicit. Like we do not make images of prophets or God because it's not good. But then prophets or God is not the freaking lion that they like hacked to pieces that no one worships and people were researching. Like what the frick, man? You know, anyways, so I think I just solved sin. Caught me pink-handed. You caught me pink-handed. Dismantling Christianity. I'm just kidding. Just further explaining Christianity. Peace out. Have a good night or morning or whenever it is. It's like a really awkward note to end on and I want it to be conclusive, so I think I'll like put the hair things away. I've got this like green thing going on. It's kind of wicked, right? It's kind of wicked. Ain't no rest for the, but ugly as a cure. I actually really, I feel like this all came together because of my schizoaffective mind and me listening to the Wicked soundtrack, and there's like the Green Witch, and she's like, well, I mean, I'm happy with the way I look, but I might as well not be green. I might as well. And that's the super based attitude that people can have toward ugliness. Is like, well, I'm a little stupid, but I might as well do my research, you know? It kind of in the same... Well, I guess I might as well not be green. I could make a purchase on Temu. It's not going to end the world immediately. I'll make a purchase on Temu and then I'll post about it on TikTok. I will post in that post that I do not support Temu's child labor ring, and I'm purchasing Temu so that I have the right to speak about it because I have given the money, so I'm a part of the institution and I demand better. That's the philosophy I have adopted, so as to not go insane in this world where sometimes Amazon purchases are necessary. But I'm like, I purchased from Amazon, therefore I have the right to speak against it. Because if you're not even making the attempt to be friends, if you're not even making the attempt to engage, then why are you hating from outside of the club? But no, I hate from inside of the club. Because I want it to be better. Because I want it to be the savior that it is. Amazon is a savior. Just be a better savior. Make the wine already, you know? Okay, what the fuck? There's always something else. Now I have to get my wine glass earrings and my gold hair wax to match. There's always something else. So that's the other thing about the number thing, where I was like, I would just want to be right about this. Maybe there are, in fact, 2 other demons, and I just don't know them yet because they're still in me, and I have not. You can only like name them once they're out of you, kind of like a kid. Like if you're naming your kid while it's still in you, that's kind of weird. That being said, I do have my baby names planned out. I'm not gonna have a baby until I'm 40, but okay. There's probably a demon somewhere in there. So I don't know. Someone work it out for me. I can't see it yet. I'm having a hard time finding my gold hair wax. That's kind of a demon somehow. Like, not being able to find things, just not having the ability to get what you want when you want it, when you need it. There's something a little demonic about that, because like it's in one of those drawers. There's no reason that I should have not found it. So it was definitely not Satan, because Satan is wrath. Maybe it is Satan. Maybe that's part of... Okay, maybe wrath isn't depression. Okay, maybe wrath is just sloth. I mean, depression is sloth. Wrath is socks going missing. Because why else would we... Like, we would love the world. It'd be so easy to not be angry at anything if you just got what you wanted when you wanted it, and it was just there as it should be, like the socks and the hair wax. Okay, I actually like this reformed definition better, because I also kind of had the feeling that like mania was the only thing that was multiple things combined, and also wrath and sloth are really not intuitively together. I just said they're intuitively together because like, yeah, I said hatred of the world. But that's not a symptom of depression. Like, you can have depression without that. And in fact, I did have depression without that, but I had to work my way there. Secondary things. Anger is a secondary emotion. Did I put that in my second hole? Yes. Secondary hole. Just get to the primary hole. You fucking sadists. Anyways. Has anyone actually read Marquis de Sade, Philosophy of the Bedroom? I have. Comment down below if you've actually read Marquis de Sade, Philosophy of the Bedroom, and you know what you're talking about when you say sadism, because most people don't. Do the research, even though it's fun research. That's a fun-ass book. I love that book. I love Marquis de Sade. Super cool guy. He, like, raped his sister-in-law and killed people, probably, but kidnapped women, so he's really not cool in that sense, but... Drop down your opinions on the artist versus the art, because I did like his album. I additionally really love Kanye West, but I don't love Nazis, so just to make that clear. And I also don't love rapists or kidnappers, or just to make that very clear. But I bet he had lots of mental illnesses, is what I will say. But then it's like, mental illnesses don't make you have wrath. Okay, this is the important part. Depression, schizophrenia, manic, you know, whatever, mental illness does not cause wrath, vengeance, violence. That's a choice that the universe makes to take away our socks. Okay, bye. We're not done, because how could we have been done before appreciating the wine glass earrings? In their best light. And also I have more to say. There's always more to say. So anyways, cheers. So one note is that it's easy to replace things, and people don't even notice. This is not the same Zevia can. I showed 2 of them. I like panned I went, oh! And, oh my gosh, the Dizzy is still there. Now it's gone. Am I psychotic or what? Not on Abilify yet, but feeling pretty okay. But yeah, one of them was not empty, and I'm drinking, it had a dent in it, and I popped out the dent, mostly. Would you have noticed if I didn't say anything? It's very easy to make substitutions. So, remember that you can do that, and if you don't understand the terms of the Bible, put them in terms you understand, you know? Maybe it would have been a better practice for me to, like, have just posted a video and be like, what do you guys think the 7 sins are in modern terms? Then everyone could have done this on their own, instead of taking my word for the mental illness, incurable disease, there are actually 5 of them thing. But hopefully my example has not overwhelmed your mind and you're still able to make your own. Personally, I find that when I have examples, it tends to overwhelm my mind and I have a hard time making my own. Like in middle school, when we were offered like example essays, I'd always be like, no, I don't want to see it because it's going to make it harder for me to think. And that's, I think, the wisdom of the like no carved images. If you make an example essay, then it's just going to be harder for people to think. And if you assert your theory, then it's just going to be harder for people to make theory. So I'm sitting right now, breaking the 2nd commandment. This is a carved image, this video. But I'm sinning for the sake of revealing the sin. I confess to Jesus or whoever cares to hear it. But yeah, I had a couple more reflections. One of them is like how to actually like make this happen, like all these things that I have promised. You're like, okay, I've got the internet, you know, knowledge, I've got modern medicine. I would not recommend BetterHelp. I had a very bad experience on BetterHelp. They did not BetterHelp me. They made me worse. But anyways, so that's a lot of the like good resources are not equitable right now. Like I'm paying out of network for my therapist because she's really, really good, but it's expensive as shit. So that's why I've felt the need bearing down upon me to be well, to like get well as soon as possible. I cannot afford to continue going to therapy for much longer. Anyways, but that has been helpful because it has imposed the restraint of like I need to get well fast, and that's something that we kind of should impose on ourselves, not as like a do it, you know, but like I am gonna get well fast. It's not even gonna be an issue because I'm not gonna be paying for therapy for very long. That's something that you can wish. And so it's not really about wishing, it's more something like prayer. I think we need, throwing away my hair, we need something like prayer. You don't have to call it prayer if that word makes you uncomfortable. It doesn't have to be to God. Because, I don't know. I mean, I think it doesn't have to be to God. I could be wrong about this. I have not prayed to God about let me get well in every way. And I think I'm almost at wellness, but also very far away. So maybe it's like to actually get to wellness, you have to pray to God. So I could be proven wrong, and I will update you guys if I find out that you do in fact need God to get well. But I kind of think that you don't. But I do think you need trust, like deep devotional trust that can look at contradiction and not be overcome by it in something beyond you. And what that can be is in trained medical professionals. So like today I met with my psychiatrist and he diagnosed me Abilify and got it sent to CVS, and I didn't get the notification because CVS randomly locked me out. And that would have made me have wrath if I was not as good of a person. But since I'm such a good person, I actually didn't even notice that I was locked out until after the pharmacy closed because I was just doing other shit, dilly-dallying, you know? Dilly-dally, therefore not wrath. But, so I was like gonna get it tomorrow anyway, and I was like, oh, well. But anyways. I expressed today, like, I don't even know if I'm schizoaffective. I don't even, like, I just had so much doubt about the whole thing. Because I'm like, yo, I've never had, like, a really bad hallucination. I did have, like, one single auditory hallucination with like not even words, just a sound. Like the day before I met with my psychiatrist and got prescribed Abilify like a couple weeks ago. A couple weeks. It was a long ass process of getting doctors in the loop because I'm switching psychiatrists, so it's cheaper, and then I also have to contact the endocrinologist and the it's like there are complications, but it's also not that deep. Like it's very much like in retrospect, like piece of cake if this is gonna cure me, you know? Like sure, you know, I'll take that hour-long hold for chalk again with the annoying music. I actually didn't wait an hour. Oh no, I shouldn't make myself seem more benevolent than I am. I do not have that patience. I think I left a voicemail after like 20 minutes. But anyways. Probably not even 20 minutes. I have no perception of time is the other thing. Could have been an hour. I don't know. No perception of time when I'm depressed. Also no perception of time. What time is it? It's 1:28 a.m. It's 1:28, yeah, no perception of time because like this is how I'm dressed and it's 1:28 a.m. Like girl, what are you doing? What are you doing? You have essays? You've got sleep to get? Presumably? Probably not. But anyways, that's okay. Time. That's okay. But maybe that's another demon. Oh my god, time. Oh my god. Anyways. Literally. No, I'm actually very convinced by this. Okay. We've got depression, mania, schizoaffective, diseases that kill people randomly, ugly, time, and autism. And under the umbrella of autism, I could just say neurodivergence, like OCD and such. So I just want to say that, like, how many of these demons have I personally conquered? So close. Schizoaffective, mania, depression, so close. Please. I'm going to get my prescription tomorrow, probably very early because I probably won't sleep, so I'll go right when it opens. Ugly, I never was ugly, but the potential to be ugly was cured by sunscreen. Thank you very much. Why am I forgetting? Whatever it is, I conquered it. As a kid, I exhibited a lot of like OCD symptoms. And then like the funny thing is sometimes a disease will cure a disease. Kind of the way that like pills are probably not good, but it counteracts the bad, so it ching. And I think eczema saved me from OCD because when I started like leaving class to wash my hands a lot, I developed eczema like immediately from the harsh hand soap. And so my doctor was like, don't use the harsh hand soap. And I was an obedient child and I was like, okay, I'm not gonna wash my hands. Like, it's okay, I'll deal with it. But it was like right when that habit started, like before it became a habit, I immediately had eczema. So I never developed like a hand washing thing. And I did have like a weird walking thing of like, you know, needing to walk in a specific number of steps and whatever. My mom got me a rolling backpack in first grade. It was like the worst thing I had ever had. It filled me with wrath. That was like my experience with true wrath, was having a rolling backpack, and it would like flip over and mess up my like perfect steps. But then I just kind of had to let go of the perfect step thing because like that was my backpack for the year. So I just like having a rolling backpack is a fucking disease, but it helped cure my OCD. And same with eczema. But like I dealt with that. Like all of the women in my family are diagnosed, medicated for OCD. My aunt, my cousin, that's everyone on my dad's side of the family. OCD. I never got diagnosed and medicated. I never developed it. I had eczema and a rolling backpack. Thank you very much. So sometimes there are non-medical solutions. And there's something about the Bible that's like, you know, seek God first. And there's probably some wisdom in that. It's like if you don't have to go on pills with side effects, and there are like random hacks to things that you would only know from just like following the course of life, accepting the backpack that your mom gets you, listening to the doctor's advice, can be kind of equivalent to trusting in God. So you don't have to have God, in my opinion, but I could be wrong. But you do have to have trust, really trust in something beyond yourself, which is people who know more than you. So, you know, your mom, if she knows more than you. Not everyone's moms know a lot. That's really unfortunate, but it's the way that it is. Some moms know how to hurt. My mom knows how to help me, which I feel really good about, but also didn't believe in mental illness or like bisexuality, Anyways, but she's learning. She's learning, which is the important part. So yeah, basically, yeah. I had all of the demons, essentially, yeah. Except for ugly, but I had the potential of ugly. And oh, never mind. I never had time. Never have I ever had a conception of time. Time is a demon, and I'm like, I don't want that one. I'm just gonna not. And most of the time it works out. Like I really, before developing like, cause I don't know, mental health wise, started to like, I had cyclothymia in a pretty like, in retrospect, clear and distinct form at the age of 17. Was derailed at the age of 16. But it wasn't until last year, when I was 19, that I was really like, okay, mental illness. But before that time, like my freshman year of college, when I had, throwback to when I had over a 4.0 GPA, because Columbia does a weird GPA system, and I only flexed this against failing all of my classes last semester. I did not turn in a single final. I had 5 classes. I missed 5 finals. I failed them. I'm taking summer classes. It's gonna be okay. But like, what was the point of this? Freshman year, I didn't check clocks. I didn't have a watch. I didn't have a conception of time. But I would just like literally feel in my legs, like, okay, time to get up. And then I would check my phone and be like, oh, it is actually time to go to class, like in this very minute. And I hadn't thought about it, but if I had asked myself how much time do I have before class, I probably would have said 2.5 hours. It's all good. But it worked out consistently. So that's the thing, is you really don't need time, like a conception of time, if you are not mentally ill. But then if you are mentally ill, then it's like things are gonna get really off track. Because that's the thing, is like mental illness, the mania thing, being gluttony, greed, lust, like needing too much, going too far, sloth, depression, not doing enough, your body should be moving but it doesn't tell you to move. That's when you need a watch to monitor things. It's like monitoring. It's like I have to monitor my blood sugar. This little guy connects to my phone via Bluetooth and sends me my blood sugar every 5 minutes, and I have to keep an eye on it so that I know how much insulin to get. Oh, I don't have a pod right now. Hours and hours of calling multiple offices, and I don't. Anyways, demons are not cured. I in fact have diabetes and was at a very dangerous blood sugar level all day. But anyways, and the Omnipod, the people try to help for the most part. CVS guy was not trying to help. Omnipod people were trying to. Omnipod people are great. Shout out Omnipod people. Anyways, CVS guy probably was depressed and doesn't have a prescription. Spends his whole day at the consultation desk. Has never himself been prescribed. Probably isn't making very much money. Probably could not get a psychiatrist that would give him an accurate diagnosis very quickly or easily. The way of the world. But anyways. Cheers again. I feel like that's pretty much it. Like, prayer or equivalent, trust in something greater than you. Last thing, you have to believe in yourself, which just means like believing that you want to get better. That's what it all means. Like, yes, I want to live. Living is improving and growing. So that's, you can put it in the terms of like, I want to improve and grow. I want to be better. I want to be good. But you don't have to put it in those terms. People get really offended sometimes when you don't put it in those terms. Like, I've seen a lot of people being like, you know, fuck a man if he doesn't say, like, not fuck him, but fuck him. I spent too much time stalking the Bop House people, and they kept making those videos, and they all look like they're 16 years old, and it's terrifying. Anyways, there are ills in the world. Anyways. But if people just had their, like, mental illnesses checked out, they probably would look on 16-year-olds and be like, oh, this is ugly. This is not sexually appealing to me as a grown man. that's a hot take. That is. It's okay. Anyways, I need to like just get the demons out of my mind of all the men in the world. Okay, demons are gone. You know, take whatever solution you have. It's the 2 Zevia cans and a little sing-song. Why not? You don't have to say, I want to improve. I want to be better. You really don't. And it's probably harmful to say stuff like that because it's kind of to discount like your current existence. Like, yes, you are good enough and like you can acknowledge that. So I think men don't acknowledge that. Like in words, they're not like, I want to be better, but also I am good enough. Like that's the way that women put it in our society because that's what's acceptable for women in our society. It's not acceptable for men at all. Like you will get ostracized, you will lose your friends, you will be kicked out of the fucking NFL party for saying that, you know? So have some compassion, please, women. And if they're like, I just am myself, I'm just gonna be me and I'm just gonna live, just let me live my life, is literally saying exactly the same thing as I am enough in the present moment and also I want to be better. It's saying the same damn thing. So just accept that people put their words in different ways. And then at the same time, obviously some people are like, you know, I just want to live, just let me live. And what they mean by that is I want to stagnate and I don't want to be better. Similarly, some people say, I am enough. But I strive to be better every day. And then they're fucking assholes, bitches. They are cunts and bitches. I'm sorry. Genuinely cunt, like, I can't even use it in a derogatory way because it doesn't exist derogatorily in my mind. So I, like, try to use it in a derogatory way and I'm like, no, like, cunt. But they are, like, a lot of the times. They're cunt. And then bitch also, I can't use in a derogatory way. I love being a woman and reclaiming language to the degree that it, like, doesn't work for evil. So I did not break the amendment that's about foul language. Is that the amendment, the commandment? I don't even know if it's a commandment. It's in Ephesians. I was writing an essay that I should be continuing to write right now, but there are more important things to do, like chat to Photo Booth about sin. But anyways. So yeah, it's literally just like, I'm alive. You could put in those words. You could put it in the, I'm an awesome person, things are gonna get better. You could put it in a, I can keep my cool under pressure when I'm eating lemon pepper. Like, that's, all of these iterations are just fine. They're saying the same thing. But you gotta believe it. But don't put too much pressure on yourself and don't ask too many questions about, like, do I truly believe that I want to live? Like, you're alive, so yes. So it's not that deep. It's not that deep. Just trust in medical professionals. And if you can't trust in medical professionals, if that's too scary for you, then I'm sorry. But you can trust in God. Then you can be like, well, since God is good, God will give me good medical advice through my medical professionals. Like, that's fine. If you want to take the second hole, that's okay. What is that in golf terms? If you hit it in 2 holes, I don't know. Not as good as hitting it in 1 hole. You might as well just trust the person who's in front of you, who is your friend. That's what Jesus would have done, but whatever. Who am I to say? Anyways. No one's gonna make this accusation, but against the accusation that I'm idolizing myself by, like, positioning myself as Mary Magdalene, like, I had all the demons and I've gotten over them and here I am to preach to you. I don't know really very much about Mary Magdalene. I did look her up in the last week, and this is probably where all this came from, my schizoaffective mind, and listening to the Wicked song and looking up Mary Magdalene and getting diagnosed with, like, ADHD, schizoaffective bipolar disorder unofficially. Anyways. And yeah, so that's where this came from. But I don't know much about her. I think she was cool. I think that it's way more common than, like, one superstar girl to have all of the 7 demons and then to get over them. Again, I haven't even had all 7 because I haven't had time and I don't even know what the 7th one is. So yeah. Well, wrath. Okay, fuck. Okay, I need to recap for myself. Time is a demon. Lost socks, which is Satan. Like, just the world going wrong. And you're like, why is the world wrong? Depression. Mania. Schizoaffective. Ugly. And then I said, like, autism. Neurodivergence. But I want to use a specific word. I want to use autism and then just say that OCD and ADHD and ADD are just forms of autism, because that in my brain it makes sense, because autism, we've already seen the spectrum expanded where like Asperger's doesn't exist anymore, which my cousin has Asperger's, and she really like, I can't imagine her being like, I have autism. Like, she has Asperger's. I don't know, like, she's fucking genius working for Omnipod. I love Omnipod. Oh, I don't have it. But the sweet Omnipod girl sent me 2 for free, so I'll have it soon. But anyways. If you want to defeat autism, ugliness, the wrath of the world, where your socks get lost and the bombs hurt. And the mental illnesses, the mania, depression, schizoaffective disorder. And the ugly Alaskan bullworm leviathan. Be you and trust beyond yourself. That's all.